Yo, my gamers, my gamers, and my thamers, what is good? Hope you're having a beautiful one. My name is Dre Charles, and I've been playing Smash since 2002 when I was a wee lad, and I've been engaged actively with this community since 2014. Joining at perhaps the darkest point in my life, my story with Smash Bros has been a journey that expanded my mind and gave me a sense of purpose when I had none. That topic could be its own video, and I don't want to spend too much time here talking about myself, so I'm going to cut straight to the point. If you follow the right people on Twitter, YouTube, or other social media, then you might know what I'm about to talk about here, but if you're not aware, let me fill you in. As you know, due to the current state of the world we live in-person events of any kind are currently impossible, or at the very least incredibly risky to run outside of a select few countries that have actually managed to level the spread of the coronavirus. Like any other fighting game, Smash heavily thrives off of in-person events to grow as a scene and generate hype. The interactions between the players, fans, creators, and organizers come together to create a beautiful and thorough experience for spectators worldwide, and many of us, up to 100,000 plus, tune in together to watch the peaks of these events. This is a beautiful thing. The idea of coming together to celebrate the growth of a scene, to compete, and to love the game we all play together is something fantastic and creates bonds that are near unbreakable. Bonds that, for some of us, will last our entire lives, and for all of us, provide a means to engage with an extended family amidst the quarantine era. This is something Nintendo claims they want to bring to their customers. For a very, very long time, the model of Nintendo was power to the players. A strong statement. One that you'd think would result in unity between Nintendo and their fan bases, and as a result of this unity, company support. You unfortunately would be wrong. Unlike Sonic Team, who after seeing how dedicated their work was, offered fan game developers the chance to create an official title, resulting in one of the most fluid Sonic experiences fans had ever seen, and the revitalization of the 2D Sonic formula in Sonic Mania. Nintendo does not like to work with their fans. At all. If you don't know, Slippy is a mod for Melee that allows you to play online using rollback netcode, the current best form of netplay available for any fighting game at all. Due to the previously mentioned circumstances, as of June 22nd, 2020, when rollback was first implemented into Slippy, all Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments have been played using Slippy, and as a result, we've seen a bit of a resurgence in the scene through Wi-Fi. This serves as a direct contrast to the way the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate community has been addressing online. Unfortunately, Nintendo's official online service just isn't up to par with current fighting game standards, and the delay is a little bit too much, and it's been pulling people away from the game. A lot of people have been very drawn away from Ultimate as a result of the fact that everything is on Wi-Fi given the current state of the world. Theoretically, this is strictly positive, right? A single person by the name of Fizzy managed to put together a way to play a nearly 20-year-old game online seamlessly that's no longer in print. Regardless, this is not how Nintendo thinks. On November 19th, 2020, the official Twitter account of the Big House, one of the most prestigious Smash tournaments of all time, pulling in over 100,000 concurrent viewers for its previous installment at its peak, released a tweet stating this. The Big House is heartbroken to share we've received the cease and desist from Nintendo of America Incorporated to cancel our upcoming online event. We were informed we do not have permission to host or broadcast the event, primarily due to the usage of Slippy. Sadly, all of our competitions are affected. We are forced to comply with the order and cancel the Big House Online for both Melee and Ultimate. Refund information will be sent shortly. We apologize to all those impacted. Needless to say, about 95% of the internet who's engaged with the Super Smash Bros. Community lost their minds. Notorious for striking down fan projects, Nintendo once again came down with their iron fists to crush all those who dare defy their intellectual property rules. A Kotaku article was made very shortly after, and in it was a statement from Nintendo concerning their decision to crush the Big House. Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for the Super Smash Bros. Series. We have partnered with numerous Super Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past and have hosted our own online and offline tournaments for the game. We plan to continue that support in the future. Unfortunately, the upcoming Big House tournament announced plans to host an online event for Super Smash Bros. Melee that requires use of illegally copied versions of the game in conjunction with a mod called Slippy during their online event. Nintendo therefore contacted the tournament organizers to ask them to stop. They refused, leaving Nintendo no choice but to step in to protect its intellectual property and brands. Nintendo cannot condone or allow privacy of its intellectual property. Yeah, that makes sense. Unless you, I don't know, take a look at American copyright laws. To paraphrase a bit, emulation is legal within the United States, but unauthorized distribution of copyrighted code remains illegal. Of course, this means that in the event that someone is utilizing emulated content, that the burden of proving that content is stolen is on the shoulders of the creators. Nintendo has shown that they are willing to bend our fingers as brutally as possible through their takedowns of several emulation sites, fan projects, and more over the last few decades, ranging from the takedown of AM2R, also known as another Metroid 2 remake, a fan project that recreated and enhanced the experience of Metroid 2 prior to the release of Samus Returns, to the takedown of a Commodore 64 port of the original Super Mario Bros. These decisions constantly leave that 95% of the internet I was referring to earlier asking the same question. Why? These attacks have also extended to YouTube and Twitch creators through DMCA takedowns over the last decade for use of Nintendo music in their content. Timothy Gaynor of TechDirt addresses this in an article written back in 2019 on the takedown of Silva Gunner, a YouTube channel that existed for almost a decade. Gaynor's final point in the article answers this question quite well. He says, "Here's where the lack of sense in these protectionist actions really shines through. Nintendo makes money by having dedicated fans purchase Nintendo consoles and games for its systems. Fans become dedicated through their love of the game and the nostalgia they might have for a particular property. The soundtracks of games can play a huge part in that, of course. In other words, YouTube posts of Nintendo music, while technically infringing, mostly function to supercharge the fandom of Nintendo properties, which is why so many gaming companies don't do anything to impede this expression of fandom. And Nintendo doesn't have to either. It can, certainly, and it has, but it doesn't have to. It only does so because the company appears to view protectionism as some kind of default setting. Why? Because while fans love Nintendo, Nintendo does not share that same love for its fans." Any of you fucking bootlickers want to tell me where the lie is? Lies? What are you talking about? This whole thing is lies. Nintendo's sense of pride will eventually lead to the complete collapse of their competitive fandom. Companies like Capcom, who haven't managed to appeal to their more casual audience as much in recent years, have still retained a sense of status in the business world through their promotion of their competitive scenes, because these scenes also work as a promotional tool in their favor. Pulling in more corporate sponsors like Red Bull and Pocky, as well as slightly smaller scale sponsors like Hori, who produce equipment like controllers for gamers around the world. On top of releasing purchasable DLC aesthetics, characters, and frequent updates, Capcom is able to continue supporting their competitive scene and in turn themselves. Investing into your competitive scenes is investing into your own company's longevity, and we have seen proof of that concept. Not only Capcom, but NetherRealm, the creators of Mortal Kombat, Blue Mammoth Games, the creators of Brawlhalla, and more exist as proof of that concept. Regardless of this, Nintendo has demonstrated zero interest in working together with anyone to benefit their competitive scenes. The Lone Wolf Act continues to alienate fans of Nintendo, and while this seems like a slow bleed, their continued attacks will result in self-inflicted loss. On September 25, 2018, it was reported on Smashboards, a long-standing public forum for all Super Smash Bros. Games, that there were a little more than 72,000 players in the database from all over the world. That number represents Melee alone. In 2018, Melee was 17 years old. 72,000 plus, celebrating a game made in 2001. Isn't that beautiful? It'd be easy to imagine a company taking pride in such a timeless creation, yet time and time again they act to stifle the efforts of those looking to celebrate their creation. Back in 2013, an era that was much less than kind to the Smash Bros. Community at large, Nintendo made their first attempt at shutting down the community. After raising $94,683 through Evolution 2013's donation drive, Melee became the 8th installment to be added to the most prestigious fighting game tournament of all time, across the entire world. Regardless of the good nature of this inclusion and the hard work performed by the community to make it happen, on July 9th, simply hours after the initial announcement had been made that Melee made it to EVO, Shoryuken.com, a website run by the hosts, had to announce this. Regrettably, we've just been informed by Nintendo of America Incorporated that we do not have permission to broadcast Super Smash Bros. Melee for EVO 2013. After no more than a few hours of unanimous mauling, this decision was retracted and EVO was given the rights to stream Melee, a truly blessed moment that allowed the scene to flourish and grow. Regardless of this, however, Nintendo has not put any true form of financial backing into the scene, uninterested in promoting their own material, theoretically due to the idea that the new material will be better simply by nature of being new. Nintendo has allowed Melee to go 19 years with a completely unsupported scene. But Nintendo sponsored events, bro. Slapping your logo on tournaments overlays? That does nothing for the scene. That is not support. Yet it still lives to this day as a result of the community and those who support it. No release or online support has ever been created by Nintendo for Melee, nor have they ever demonstrated interest in doing so why can't the fans do it? In the event that this takedown was based around the idea that they were preparing for a release, why would they not support the currently existing and by far most powerful form of the release that's available to the public? Why would they not encourage us to do what we love? Are we just walking wallets? Yes, stupid. You thought a company that fucking utilizes prison labor gives a shit? At all? Come on, bruh. This discussion is incredibly hard because every question raises more, but if I've learned anything in the last decade, it's that there are much better expenditures of one's time than trying to make sense of Nintendo's decisions. Everything that Smash Bros. Currently has in terms of its scene, and potentially in terms of its sales, are largely in part due to Melee's impact. The fight to legitimize Melee gave the community a fire that still burns bright to this day. The community that saved my life, as well as many others, and showed me that it's worth fighting onwards. The community that loved its 20-year-old game so much that a single person sat down and dedicated thousands of hours of their life and developed a way to play it online seamlessly in the midst of a pandemic. The community that showed they loved this game infinitely more than the company or the person who made it. If you are one of the many who adores this series, make your voice heard. In the description, I've linked a post by one of my favorite content creators, Ludwig. He's aiming to host one of the biggest gaming tournaments of all time in terms of prize pool, a solo Melee tournament run on Slippy where the winner can choose the charity they donate all the money to. You can support with the hashtag FreeMelee, or given you're in the position to do so, no pressure, you can support financially. As people are trying to run tournaments to show Nintendo that we won't be silenced pathetically like this, I think the very least we can do is give our best effort in the fight as one unit. I know that many people are concerned they'll never listen. I am definitely one of them. It is not easy to get over that concern. They seem like stubborn bastards. But change is never achieved through complicity. It is achieved through direct action. Help us in the fight to keep Melee alive, or watch Smash crumble as a whole. Your choice, really. Regardless, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching. Mwah.